So just to let you know. Okay. Let me tell you guys the difference between having a disability and being physically disabled. Alright, having a disability is like, let's say for example, like me, in my personal experience with having a disability, I was born with Erb's palsy, and I can do most things by myself except for lifting really heavy objects, like lifting really heavy objects. Like I can lift heavy. I can lift things that are heavy. Like I could lift things that are very heavy. Not, how do I say this? I could lift things that are heavy, but not very heavy because my arm could hurt easily. But everything else I can do on my own. I can wipe. I can do everything else on my own. I'm just gonna be relying on this left hand most of the time, but most times, like, if I have to, I'm gonna have to use both of my arms. But it's like I can do most things on my own. Like, if you have a disability, you can drive. If you've got a disability on one arm, you can drive. Depending on how mobile it is, well, I don't know. I don't know because it's like a disability on one arm, it can come in different forms. So it's like, I don't know how it works. I don't know what that looks like on your situation. But it's like, how do I say this? So I'm not going to say that you can't drive with a disability. You probably can. You can do a lot of things. You can do like most things with disabilities. But a few things, you're going to need some help. But when it comes to being disabled, that means you have a disability all over your body. Your body is paralyzed. Like, you can't move your whole body. You can't move on your own. Your arms can't move on its own. Your legs can't move on its own. You can't walk. You can't wave. You can't do nothing. Uh, you can't do nothing. You can't do nothing when you're disabled. So when you're disabled, you can't take care of yourself. You always need somebody to take care of you. So there is a fine line between having a disability and being disabled. All right. Having a physical disability is like, it's invisible. It's not always noticeable. Being like, it's noticeable when you show some skin on that disabled area, on that disability, I mean. But it's invisible when it's baggy, when you put something baggy on it or something like that. But you cover it well enough, it's invisible. Physically disabled is like, this person's in a wheelchair. This person's doing something, like this person's literally in a wheelchair. That is disabled. Or like, somebody's got to push them in a wheelchair. Like, this person can't even move the wheels. So if my mom starts saying like, oh, this person can't take care of herself, she can't take care of herself, she can't do this. Here's the thing. My mom right now is trying to spend her days not even letting me do anything. Not even letting me do like basic things that is easier for somebody with a person with a disability can do. Like roll the windows down. She literally just told me, hey, You don't know how to roll the windows down. And I was all like, dude, I've been doing this long before. Like, you literally taught me how to do this. Like, all you need to do is just turn on the engine. Like, all you need to do is just turn on the engine and roll the windows down. Okay, I already know how to do that stuff. Like, and here's the thing. If I were to learn how to drive, like, if I were to learn how to drive, you can just teach me. Like, here's the thing. People with disabilities, they can drive. Like, one thing about that, I don't know, like, how do I say this? How do I say this? As long as that they know how to do it responsibly, as long as they know how to do it right, like, then that's totally fine. So it's like, if, so judges, probate judge, if my mom starts appearing in court and she starts saying like, oh, she don't know how to do this, she can't do this by herself, she can't do this. Like, here's the thing. My mom has been sheltering me. Like, if my mom was really supportive and was really trying to make me independent, I would have actually gotten a house at a younger age. I would have actually gotten a house. I would have actually gotten a house at a younger age. Okay, I would have actually reached my dreams at a younger age instead of just spending like 4 to 5 years bragging about reaching them. Like, I still haven't reached my dreams yet, but you know what I'm saying. It shouldn't take me that long for me to reach my goals. I ain't that slow in the head. Like, regardless of what disability I may have, like, how do I say this? Like, that I may have, like, how do I say this? I'm not that slow to the point where I have a mindset of a toddler. I could literally function like an adult. Like how all y'all do. Like, there's a reason why they call it high functioning autism. High functioning. And I ain't got it no more. Because God, it was a miracle. But back then, when I had high functioning autism, it was like, how do I say this? How do I say this? I could literally function like everybody else. Just had a little bit of weird quirks here and there, but I function normally most of the time. But me now is like those things have gone away. These weird quirks has gone away. Like, how do I say this? When I draw, I don't draw as quick as I did when I was autistic. I can draw carefully more. How do I say this? I'm less likely to throw tantrums when I'm stressed. But even if this person is high functioning autistic and all that stuff, like, even if this person is high functioning autistic and all that stuff, don't use that diagnosis just because tantrums is part of their symptoms, is part of the symptoms of their diagnosis. Don't use it against them and be like, oh, this person has autism, and that means this person throws tantrums, so that person cannot count as cannot have their conservatorship terminated. No, the questions that you should be asking, like, all right, you're aware of the tantrums. Like, you should be like, okay, so that means you're more likely to throw tantrums when you're stressed. But the real question is, are you able to control it? What do you do to calm yourself down when you're throwing the tantrums? What do you do to calm yourself down when you're throwing the tantrums? All right? What do you do to calm yourself down when you're throwing the tantrums? Just think about it. You gotta think about it. And sometimes when they do throw tantrums, sometimes it's not really their fault. Sometimes it's because the people that they have to put up with are provoking them into throwing the tantrums. So you gotta think about that. So yeah. God bless.